Deep Dive, the evolution of MMA rules from no holds barred to unified standards. Remember when MMA was called human cockfighting? Before the glory, before the global recognition, there was chaos. Today, we unravel the dramatic story of how mixed martial arts evolved from a brutal no-holds-barred spectacle into a sophisticated, regulated sport. This is the deep dive into the evolution of MMA rules. When the Ultimate Fighting Championship burst onto the scene in 1993, it promised to answer the age-old question: which martial art is the best? What it delivered was raw, often brutal, and incredibly controversial. With almost no rules, it was the Wild West of combat. But for MMA to grow, for it to become a legitimate sport, order had to emerge from the chaos. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating, sometimes turbulent evolution of MMA rules, from its bare-knuckle beginnings to the unified standards that govern the sport today. At the Wild West era, early UFC and Vale Tudo. Our journey begins in the early 1990s, where events like the inaugural Ultimate Fighting Championship UFC 1993 in the US and the long-standing Vale Tudo tradition in Brazil exemplified the no-holds-barred ethos. The rules were shockingly minimal: no biting, no eye gouging, though even these were initially debated. There were virtually no weight classes, no time limits, or extremely long ones like 30 minutes, and no rounds. Fighters wore no gloves or minimal hand wraps. The goal was simple: pit different martial arts styles against each other with as few restrictions as possible, leading to unpredictable, chaotic, and often brutal contests that captivated some and horrified many. Early adjustments and controversies. The push for order. As early UFC events continued, the raw nature of the fights, while thrilling to some, quickly drew criticism and controversy. The lack of safety measures and perceived brutality led to widespread condemnation, most famously by Senator John McCain, who famously labelled it human cockfighting. This era saw the first tentative steps towards regulation. Gloves, initially or often small, open-fingered, became mandatory. Weight classes began to be introduced, and a short list of fouls slowly emerged, prohibiting things like fish hooking, hair pulling, and small joint manipulation. Referee stoppages and the concept of corner throw-ins also started to define victory as the sport grappled with legitimacy. The role of athletic commissions and regulatory bodies. The turning point for MMA's legitimacy hinged on its acceptance by state athletic commissions. These government bodies regulate professional combat sports to ensure fighter safety and fair competition. The relentless push for regulation, driven by figures within the sport and external pressure, led to key commissions like the Nevada State Athletic Commission (NSAC) and the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board (NJSACB). Try getting that one out while you're drunk. Taking on the MMA. Their involvement was critical. Without commission sanctioning, events could not be held legally in most major venues, forcing the sport to adapt or die. The birth of the unified rules of mixed martial arts 2000. The most significant milestone in MMA's evolution arrived in 2000, with the creation of the unified rules of mixed martial arts, developed primarily by the NJSACB. With input from other commissions, these rules provided a standardized framework that could be adopted across promotions and jurisdictions. Key components included defined rounds, 3 for non-championship, 5 for championship, each 5 minutes. A clear list of legal and illegal techniques, e.g. no kicks, knees to a grounded opponent's head, no 12, 6 elbows, no headbutts, specific judging criteria for scoring rounds and define ways to win, TKO submission and decision. This standardization was paramount for fighter safety, attracting mainstream media and gaining full sport legitimacy. Post-unified rules continued refinements and regional variations. Even after the unified rules were established, the rulebook wasn't set in stone. The sport has seen continuous, albeit smaller, refinements based on fighter safety, competitive fairness and spectator experience. Debates continue around aspects like the legality of certain strikes, e.g. the controversial 12-6 elbow, judging criteria for close fights, e.g. valuing damage versus control time, and definitions of a downed opponent. Furthermore, not all major promotions strictly adhere to the unified rules. Organisations like Japan's Pride FC, now defunct, had their own distinct rule sets, e.g. illegal soccer kicks and stomps to a down opponent, and different judging. Today, One Championship famously employs its own modifier rules, e.g. illegal knees to a down opponent's head, no standing 10 count, showcasing how regional preferences and philosophical differences still influence the sport's application. Impact of rules on fighting style and strategy. The evolution of the future of MMA rules, ongoing debates. The discussion around MMA rules is far from over. Debates persist regarding judging consistency, especially with close decisions. The definition of certain fouls and potential new safety measures. The sport constantly balances its inherent danger and raw appeal with the absolute necessity of fighter well-being, as MMA continues to innovate and gain new audiences globally. The rules will likely continue to be refined, ensuring the sport remains thrilling for fans while striving for the highest possible standards of safety and fairness for its incredible athletes. From the chaotic brawls of the early UFC to the highly regulated multi-billion-dollar sport we see today, the evolution of MMA rules is a testament to its journey towards legitimacy. It's a living rulebook, constantly adapting to balance spectacle with safety, brutality with strategy. What rule do you think was the most important for MMA's growth? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive in the evolution of MMA rules insightful, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and tickle that notification bell for more explorations into the fascinating world of combat sports.